Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Bree. If you have seen my last couple videos, maybe 2 ago, my September wrap-up, I recorded half the video and my mic wasn't on. This time I thought I was doing everything right. I recorded the entire video. It took me 30 minutes and the mic wasn't on. So we're gonna redo this, but welcome. Try not to be a downer here, but I'm a little frazzled. So we are going to be going through my shelves, kind of like how people go through their physical TBR. I've done that like a couple years ago, like 4 years ago, and I think it's time to update it because I have a lot of different books on my shelves now, and I want to go through and break this up into 4 parts. Today I'm going to be recording part 1 and 2, and then I'm going to record it in one video and break it out into 2 because I want to go through these 2 shelves. So these are my fantasy sci-fi series and standalone books. So I have primarily fantasy and sci-fi, though down at the bottom I have a shelf that is mainly mystery and also mainly horror, so we won't be going into those, but I'm just going to stick to the fantasy sci-fi. I want to break it up into fantasy series, sci-fi series, and then standalones, so I think I'm just going to record it as one video, then I'm going to break it into 2. So let's just get into the video. Let's start on the top shelf, and I will talk to you about that. Apologies in advance if I'm very out of breath in this video. My POTS doesn't like it when I'm like going up and down. And since I already recorded this once, I have a feeling it's not gonna be happy with me. So, and I am standing on a chair. So let's hope I don't fall off. But this is my top shelf. I think we're gonna be pretty good with books on like the top areas because I kind of curated them to be books that I've read and enjoyed. And like series, a lot of series on these shelves, so I don't know for the next video like how much is going to be on there. Okay, so I've read the entire Emily Wilde series, so that's read. I've read the entire Drowning Empire series, but Andrea Stewart has another series that she just came out with, and that is the God's Blow. I think the second one is coming out this year or just came out this year, but I have not read the first one. I've been meaning to, but I haven't got to it yet. I picked it up because I really did like this series, so I want to see what she does next. Then I've read this duology by Sue Lynn Tan. Okay, hopefully you can see this, but I've read the entire Darker Shade of Magic series by V.E. Schwab and the new Fragile Threads of Power, which is like a continuation series. I read that. I've read this entire India Holton series. The Wisteria Society of Lady Scoundrels is the first one. Read that. And her newest series, I don't know what this one's called, but this is the first one. I've read the first and second, and that's all that's out right now. But I'm caught up on the series. And then I've also read the Legends and Lattes series. And this is a series too. It's the Wickwire Watch. It's like a self-published series. I've read the first one, and I started the second, but I haven't made it very far in it. But I do like this series. So I did pretty good on this shelf. Let's just go down to this shelf right here. I think you can see it. So I've read, I can't get this out, but I've read The Bladed Self by Joe Abercrombie. I thought it was okay, but I had got the whole series because I think my husband could like it. It's like a grimdark series, and he likes a lot of like where you can read a lot of books in a world kind of thing, like kind of like Brandon Sanderson does. And I know Joe Abercrombie does this. So we have the next 2. I won't get rid of them. I'll probably still read these 2. But I'm going to keep them for him to try and see how he feels. I've read this entire series, The Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter by Theodore Goss. Love it. It's one of my favorites. Then I have this entire series to read. I bought it at the thrift store because they had the whole series and I couldn't pass it up. And it's Chronicles of the Wolf Queen. And it's weird because then it says the Chronicles of the Bitch Queen. So they must have like changed the series, but it sounds really good. And I think I could really like it. So I picked up the whole series and I have no regrets, though I do hope I like the series. And then I have the Dream Blood duology by N.K. Jemisin. I need to read both of these. I haven't read either one, but I want to start here with N.K. Jemisin and then read on to her other series because I'm a bit intimidated. I've read the entire Discovery of Witches series. Forget what this is called. The All Souls trilogy I've read the Nicole Gover, The Conductors. There is a newer book out. I read it and I didn't like it, so I'm not going to continue. And then I've read both of these in the duology. And then I've read these two, but I haven't read Nona the Ninth, and Electo should be coming out soon, so I want to get to it. So I think I'm going to wait on Nona and then just like do a reread, because these books can be confusing. So I want to read them closer to when they come out. So that's these. Let's go over to these two shelves and we'll go through everything, because I think it'll be easier than me getting up and down a ton. So for series, I've read this entire series by Libba Bray. It was really good. I read this like in recent years and it was like one of my favorite series the year I read it. But this is her other series that's like kind of interconnected, and I read this in high school. So technically it is read. I would like to do a reread at some point, but I count them as read because I did read the whole trilogy in high school. Then we have the Raven Boys series, and I read the entire series, so everything here is read. I've read The Will of the Many, which the newest one comes out in November, so I'm very excited because we're getting closer. And then we have Robert Jackson Bennett. We have the Tainted Cup and the Drop of Corruption. I don't know what this series is called. These are really stuck in there. I'm not going to pull it out. But I've read both, and I have enjoyed it. Then we have his Foundry Side series. I, again, don't remember what that's called, but I just have Lachlan's to read, which is the third and final book. I've gotten like halfway through this and put it down. It's just going in a direction I didn't like love, but I do want to finish it because I have it and I really enjoyed the first two. So I know I will finish it. It just wasn't the time. And then I've read both in the Swordcatcher series and really enjoyed this series. Like, surprisingly loved this series. So I can't wait for another book to come out, but I have read everything on there. Now we'll go to the series. So this is incredibly out of order. Who is letting me do that? Well, so this is This Woman Kingdom. I've read this entire series. The newest book just came out and I binged it and loved it. And then we have The Witchwood Knot. I've read the first one, but I don't know if they're continuing on the series. I've read the entire Half a Soul series, one of my favorite books of all time. Okay, Serpent in the Wings of Night. I read these two, but this is like the next in the duology. They're like duologies within the same world, but I think they're considered the same series. But I have to read The Songbird and The Heart of Stone, and that's on my TBR. I will read probably the next one after it, but I liked the first one, and then I didn't love this one as much, so I'm a little weary about this, but I'm hoping because it's like a new couple, I'll enjoy it. Then I've read this entire duology. The Foul Days is the first one. I really enjoyed it. It's like monster hunting, Slavic folklore. I've read Ninth House. This is like my first sci-fi series. I've read all four here, and then I haven't read Network Effect or System Collapse or Exit Strategy, so I need to read all of those. And then I read the entire, what are they called? Books of Amba series, and I really enjoyed it. I'm really bad at putting series in order, so if you see series that are just like wildly out of order, sorry, I just don't pay attention when I put them back on the shelf half the time. I read the first in the Jasmine Throne series, and it's called like the Burning Kingdoms, and I really enjoyed it. And then I also have the first in this Raven Scholar, the Eternal Path trilogy, and so everything there is read. Okay, back over here, we have a decent amount of series, and then we have some standalones mixed in. So for series, we have Binti. I've read the first one in this little like novella series, but I have to read Home and The Night Masquerade. So this is the second, this is the third. And I really like the series, so I'm very excited to continue on. And then I've read Psalm for the Wildbat and A Prayer for the Crown Child by Becky Chambers. Maybe you can't see that. Let me zoom in. Yeah, that's better. I read these two, and I've read The Lies of the Ajungo, and I've also read the next one. I just don't have the next one like in the series that I've owned. I read it through the library. And then here I have this Before the Coffee Gets Cold series, and there is another one out. I haven't got it yet, but I've read all four of these. And I think I'm going to read the fifth one, but as that's all that fits, I think I might stop there because they are pretty like repetitive, but I enjoy them, but I don't know if I need to like continue past 5, you know? And then there are no series on this one. So then we'll just do this one really quickly. This is my Shauna McGuire, like Wayward Children shelf. I've read everything except for Adrift in Currents Clean and Clear. This is like the 9th book. 6, 7, 8, 9. it's the 10th book. Apparently I can't count. So I haven't read this. I usually get it when it comes out, but I usually read it in like December, November time. So I will get to this soon, and then a new one will come out in January that I will want to read. Okay, so for series, I have read Hell at Midnight, and I don't know if I'll continue on with the series. I liked this one enough, but I don't know if I need to continue. Then, The Adventures of Amina Al-Sarafi. I need to continue so bad. I saw that she just had a name for the book, for the second one come out, so I can't wait because I love this series so much. And then I've finished City of Brass, one of my favorite series of all time. So definitely have that. But I do want to read the short story collection at some point. I just don't have it. And then this series I've read in its entirety, the Sand Sea trilogy. I've read the entire Sabatier books. I can't remember the series name. I'm really bad with that. You'll find. So don't come here looking for series names. I read book 1 in the Stonewater Kingdom. I liked it enough. I probably will continue on, but I don't know if I'll need to own it. I really liked this Night, the One Dark Window duology by her. Same author as The Night and the Moth. I think I liked this one a little more, and I've read the entire thing. I read this whole Shane Earnshaw trilogy, but she came out with like another one, so I will read that at some point. I just don't own it. And then I'm pretty positive I know I've read these two. I think I read the third one, but I can't remember. But I definitely need to read the fourth one. And then there's a fifth one after that. So I have some more in the series to read, but at least 2. I'll check my Goodreads after this, and whatever number is up on the screen will tell you if I've read this one or not. For series, I have read none of this series. So this is Senlin Ascends, the first one in the Book of Babel. I have the first and third because I found the first and the third at the thrift store, and I had a hard time leaving it. So let's hope I like the series, because I also got this series after I read the first one in this series by him. So I felt like I was justified a little bit. So I've read the first one in this Hexologist, and it was really fun. I really liked the wittiness and stuff. So I need to read the second one that just came out, A Tangle of Time. I think I'm really going to love it. It's got like a married couple as the protagonist, and a kind of like animal companion character that I really like. Then I have, for series, I have this series by H.G. Perry. It is like a historical set in like the French Revolution time, I believe, and I've heard good things. It's a trilogy. I just don't have the third one, and I haven't read any of it yet, but I really like H.G. Perry, so I hope I will like this series. And then for series, we get to this side. I haven't read either in the Cold Magic. It's a trilogy, but I have 1 and 2, and I haven't read either one, but it's a Industrial Revolution historical fantasy, and I like historical fantasy, and I want to get back to it. I've just been reading other kinds of fantasy right now, so I haven't got to these. But then I also have this series by C.L. Clarke that I need to read, Magic of the Lost. There's 3 as well, and the first one's The Unbroken, and I really do want to get to it. It's got like war and politics, and I think I'm really going to like it, so I want to give it a try, but I just haven't got to it yet. And then I've been trying to finish out series, by the way. I've been trying to finish. I start some, so I'm not doing the best, but I have been trying to focus on finishing out some series this year. And I won't say it's going great, but it's not going horrible. So, and then we have this kind of like sci-fi time travel series that this is the first and this is the second. I found them at the thrift store, so I picked up both, but this is, yeah, like a person, she time travels back in time. And I started the first one, but I put it down because the audiobook at the library ran out, but I need to come back to it because I was having a good time with it. I need to hurry up because I need to leave the house in like 15-ish minutes, 20 minutes. So let's see if I can get this done. Hello, Bree from the future here. I realized that this whole shelf, I only talked about the standalone versions and not my series. So while I was editing, I realized that I was missing it. So we're just gonna do this shelf real quick and I'll talk you through some things. It looks a little different than when I recorded last week because I got a book or two, so I just shoved it on the shelf so I could talk about it in the video. But yeah, that's why it's gonna look a little different, but let's just get into it and talk through all the books that I haven't read on the shelf. Okay, so we'll just start with the one that's on the top. So I put this here because I got this yesterday from half price. You can see the sticker. I read from the library all three. I'm in the middle of the third one right now, and this is the second book, but they had it at half price, so I wanted to get it because I really have enjoyed this whole series. It's kind of like a horror fantasy type series, and it's really good. It's dark, but it's good, and I'm enjoying it. So I wanted to get it, but I'll put it down here for now. So that is read. I'm gonna have a lot of unread books on the shelf. So I have The Jasad Heir by Sarah Hashem. This is a like fantasy romance. I've heard people say it's less romance, so I thought I'd give it a try. I think it's enemies to lovers, and it's a woman who is trying to like hide her powers, and then a guy who like hunts people with powers. They like have to work together. So it sounds good to me, and I can't wait to give it a try, and I think it's just a duology. Then we have The Children of Gods and Fighting Men by Shauna Lawless. This is like an Irish like folklore type retelling story, and not retelling, but I think it's just inspired by Irish folklore, and it sounds really good. It's about a woman who is trying to find her way, I think, kind of like fight for herself, and she has powers, and it sounds really good. And then I have Atlas 6. This is the original indie published book, not indie, self-published book, and it's now been traditionally published. There's a whole trilogy, but I feel like there's been so many mixed reviews. I got this from my sister-in-law. She kindly gave me her copy, and I just haven't got to it yet because of how many mixed reviews there are. And then we have The Last Wish. This is the first in like the Witcher series, and this is like short stories. But I really liked watching The Witcher with my husband, and I don't really want to continue watching the series now that Henry Cavill's no longer in it, because I just really liked it that way. So I want to try the series because I've heard good things about it. Then we have A Winter's Promise, which I've had on my shelves for quite a while. It's a 4-book series, and I've heard people really, really like it. It's translated from French, and it is like kind of portals. Like there's like portals to different worlds, and that sounds really good to me. I just haven't picked it up, and I don't really know why. And then we have First Sister by Linda A. Lewis, and this is like a sci-fi series about, I think, like women who have to like become wives. They're like priestesses, and they have to like go with this captain. I'm confused about like their roles, but she maybe is gonna like have to sabotage and like, I don't know, for the good of the kingdom. I'm not really sure, but I heard someone talk about this really passionately, and it made me want to try it, and I haven't really gotten into sci-fi series, so I wanted to give it a try and see if it was for me. Then have A River Enchanted by Rebecca Ross. I've read her other series, Divine Rivals, and really liked it. So I have this one that I want to give a go. It's a duology, and it's got to do with like missing girls and like kind of a mystery. And I just like her writing, so I'm excited to give it a try. And then we have The Dallergut Dream Department Store, which is like going to a department store and like all your dreams come true. And I think it's following like a person who works at the store. And I didn't realize it was a series, but it is. But I think this kind of like healing type fiction is really up my alley. I really like it. Then we have The Undertaking of Heart and Mercy by Megan Bannon. This is like a fantasy romance like series where every book follows different love interests. And I think I could like it because I really like the India Holton series, and this one's like based off of famous like rom-coms. And I think this one's like supposed to be like When Harry Met Sally, which I haven't watched, but I do like rom-coms. So I thought it was a fun, interesting take, and I really like that kind of like fantasy romance. This is a new purchase as well. It's His Majesty's Dragon by Naomi Novik. It's a book 1 of her Temeraire series. I've read a couple things from Naomi Novik, and she's not always my favorite in terms of the lyrical writing, but I've read like mostly her retellings, and so I think that this one I could really get on board with. So I saw it there at half price, and I thought, well, it's a perfect time to give it a try and see if I like this series. Then we have The City of Dusk by Tara Sim. I picked this up kind of on a whim, like I hadn't heard anybody talk about it, and it just sounds pretty good. It's like a darker story. It says it's enter a world of bone and shadow magic, a vengeful gods and defiant chosen ones. I don't know. It just sounds good, so I want to give it a try. Then finally one I've read. I don't have the other one here because I finished it this month, so it's in my stack of books this month, but I have the first and second, and I read the third, but I don't own the third, so I have the first 2 on my shelves, and they are now read. This is a trilogy that's kind of like Venetian inspired, and it's very like political leaning. There's a lot of like politics that happen throughout the book, and that's kind of like the main focus, but I did really enjoy it. It's not a favorite series, but I think it is a good one. I liked it. Then we have this chunker. It's a trilogy, and I don't know if this is going to be for me. Like, it's huge. It says, a epic tale of intrigue and revolution, soldiers and assassins, ancient magic, and the eternal clash of empires. And I heard someone talk about it, and they talked about it so passionately that when I saw it at half price, I was like, I really want to give it a go. Because when people talk about books that they love so much, like, I just want to know why. And the way they talked about it really made me intrigued. So I picked it up, but I am a bit intimidated. And then these two I also picked up, but also for my husband because he kind of likes this story. So this is first and second. And it seems like it's a war type story. And I thought that he could enjoy it. But then I also saw it was blurbed by James Islington and S.A. Chuckforty, which are two authors that I really like. So I want to give it a try myself as well. But it says Game of Thrones meets Gladiator. And so that's really what caught my eye and what I thought he could like. So I will be giving it a go at some point. And then I have The Way of Shadows by Brent Weeks. I picked this up because my friend really loves the series. Like, it's one of her favorite series. And my husband has read his other series and did really enjoy it. But I did get, like, I don't know, how many pages is this? 62 pages in. And I don't know if it's going to be for me. It's very dark. Like, it's definitely grimdark, but it feels like dark for the sake of being dark to me so far. Like, throwing in a lot of, like, really dark and disturbing things just for, like, the shock value of it, and I don't know. I will come back to it at some point and see if it is for me. And then this was a $3 book at half price, and it just sounded good when I picked it up. I think it's a historical fantasy. No, actually, I think it's a sci-fi fantasy. And again, I was trying to get into sci-fi. All I know is that it's a queer, spectacular space opera debut, inspired by the rise and fall of ancient Rome and Egypt, and the lives and loves of Cleopatra and Julius Caesar. And I think that's what caught my eye. And for $3, I said, I will give it a try. And then finally, we have Dungeon Crawler Carl, which my husband has read all of them in the series so far and really liked it. And I know it's taken the internet by storm. So I will be getting to this at some point. I just haven't yet. But yeah, that's why I have it. Because he likes it anyway, even if I don't like it. So we'll keep it for him. But I think I will really enjoy it. So there you go. That is the shelf. And I will see you when I go back to Pastbury. Okay, for series, we have, technically this is a series, but I've read it and I won't be continuing on. This is a series, Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. I thought it was okay, and I haven't gotten rid of this because I loved Becky Chambers' other work, and I may continue on, but it just kind of wasn't for me. But it was cute and cozy, and I would recommend it. It just wasn't for me. And then I've read this. This is technically a series, though it's like novellas before this one. So I guess it could be standalone too, but I view it as a series, and it was one of my favorite books of the year that year. Also, I read Howl's Moving Castle like a long time ago, and I've reread it a couple times and I love it. But it is technically a series, but I don't think I'll ever continue on. I just love this one so much. And then this is a series that I haven't read yet, Kamogawa Food Detectives. It's like a healing fiction kind of story, and it's got some fantasy, so that's why it's here. But I really love that kind of story, and I want something to fill the hole of, like, before the coffee gets cold. So I will read that at some point. And this is, I just picked it up because it said Be Gay, Solve Crimes, Take Naps, and it's magical detectives. There's, like, a ghost. There's someone with fibromyalgia, so, like, a chronic pain condition. And there's different, like, things in here that I think are really fun, and I like a good, like, little mystery fantasy. So I'm excited to give that series a try. Then I haven't read Sorcerer to the Crown, but I need to. This is a fantasy, historical fantasy that I've heard really good things about. And then this is also a fantasy I've heard really good things about. To Shape a Dragon's Breath by Manako Blackgoose. It's like a dragon academy, and we're dealing with like colonization and stuff, and I've just heard amazing things, and I really can't wait to give it a go. And then I haven't read Rosewater by Tade Thompson. This is a sci-fi series, and I really need to try it. But it's the Wormwood trilogy. It's like people living in a biodome, and I think we're getting into like environmental racism. But I just haven't picked it up yet because I don't tend to gravitate towards sci-fi. And I've yet to really read a sci-fi series. And then I have two series. We have The Book That Wouldn't Burn and Miss Percy's Pocket Guide to the Care and Feeding of British Dragons. That's a tongue twister. I think I'm really going to love this. It's a fantasy, cozy, historical series, and I just really need to get to it. It's a self-pubbed work as well. And then we have The Book That Wouldn't Burn that I picked up because I thought I would love it, but then now it's been getting mixed reviews, and it's kind of like about a library, which I think could work for me. But if they go into the books, I don't think I'm going to enjoy it because I don't really like books about books or like pulling characters out of books or putting books in to books. So we'll see. It's got mixed reviews and I've never tried a Mark Lawrence, so we'll see if I like it. I just want to say real quick, these two shelves we're not going to go over because these are horror and these are mystery, so we'll go through that in the video about that. But I do have this series, and this is by Samantha Shannon. I didn't really like it, but it's here, and I'm going to read on and decide if I like love the rest of the series and want to collect it, but so far I wasn't wowed by it. For series, we have Terry Pratchett. I read We Free Men and really enjoyed it, and I need to read Hatful of Sky. But I didn't read Terry Pratchett in my youth, and so I don't have like a nostalgia for it like other people do, and so I do want to read it, but it just hasn't been like a priority. I've read The Bridge Kingdom. I really didn't like this book. I gave it like 2 stars, but I can't get rid of it because look at that cover. So it sits there. And then this was originally a standalone, but then she came out with like a second book. So I have read the first one and really liked it, but I don't have the second one. Maybe I will pick it up at some point and continue on. Alat's Way was also like originally standalone, but then it got a prequel. I've read Alat's Way and the prequel. I just don't own the prequel. And then we have this, The Pomegranate Gate by Ariel Kaplan. I keep meaning to read this. It's a historical fantasy series that's like going into another world, and I really think I'm gonna like it because it reminds me of City of Brass, and I think I'm gonna love it, but I keep putting too much pressure on it, so then I keep not picking it up. It's been on so many TBRs and I haven't read it. Okay, then standalones, and then the only other series is Empire of Exiles, which is also a recent pickup, and I think it's just gonna give me heist vibes. It is got a scribe, a mage, an archivist, and an investigator, 4 unlikely heroes, a secret threatening an empire. Just sounds really good. Like, I've been in the mood for a heist book, but I haven't been able to find a good heist book, and I think this might give me like heist vibes without being a heist. I found it at the thrift store, and I've seen that cover before, but I've never heard anyone really talk about it. Okay, then if we go down here, we're gonna ignore all the books up to here because these are all literary fiction, and I will talk about them in the literary fiction section. Okay, finally, for series, these are not series. This is the first series, A Siri and the Maru by Natalia Hernandez. This is like a cozy fantasy series that I do want to get to at some point, but I have not gotten to it yet. It's got like animal companions, and it's kind of like romance based. Then my husband has the other book out on his side table right now, so I don't have it, but this is The Hidden Palace, which is the second. The first one's The Golem and the Genie, and I think there's 3 books, and it's about a golem and a genie trying to like find their place in the world, and I've heard really good things, and it sounds really good. Then we have Red Rising by Pierce Brown. I kind of want to know what the hype is about because people like love that series, so I kind of want to know what it's about. And then I've read the entire Tea Dragon Society, and I love it. It's very good. I've read Spy Family. I've read more than this, but I just kept the 1 volume because I don't read a ton of manga. But this is a like series of graphic novels. That was hard for me to get out. It was a webtoon, and it looks really cute. I think it's about like a pair of siblings, and they do cute little stuff, so I want to read this for Halloween time. I just keep not picking it up. I've read both Garlic and the Vampire, Garlic and the Witch. Really love it. I've read both Bug Boys. There's a 3rd one. I just don't own it. And then I have the Lightfall trilogy, and I've read the first one, but I need to read Shadow of the Bird and Dark Times. So I still have these to get to. And then I have Mao 1 and 2, which I have read. And then March is also part of a series, and I've read all of them, but I just only own the first one. So there we go. So there you go. There are all the unread series on my shelves, my fantasy series and sci-fi series. I hope you enjoyed. It was a bit humbling to see how many books I haven't read, but also I am okay with having a bigger TBR. So I'm just happy I got to this, and I hope this was interesting for you. And if you want to leave a comment down below letting me know what series you'd like me to prioritize, I'd love to know, and I will try to get to them as soon as I can. And if you made it to the end, leave a book stack emoji down below for series and maybe a fantasy element to like a sword or something. And I will see you next time.